So, yeah, the lights are coming up, ready to go for the Scottish Classics. Car number 78 on pole position. Andrew Graham, off they go. And, oh, it's a cloud of smoke as they go off the line. But it's a superb getaway from the car number 78, our pole sitter of Andrew Graham, as the VW Golf of Charlie Cope comes charging through the field up into second place. But the Fiat, after a slightly steady start of Alistair Bapty, does get through into second then. So it's Alistair Graham in the triumph from Alistair Bapty in the Fiat from the VW Golf of Charlie Cope, up from 5th position to 3rd. Great start. Whoa, it's a spin for the Scimitar.
Jimmy Crowe did a very good start from 6th up to 4th place, but he's lost it on the exit of the chicane. Luckily he didn't hit anybody, nobody hit him, so he's going again, but down to last place.
And that was a full 360 there coming out of the chicane for that Scimitar Coupe, and hopefully able to keep going again, because that was a scary one as well. Big moves going on at the hairpin as well. The Vauxhall Nova of Ian Mitchell trying to make a move there on the Escort RS 2000 of Alistair Coates. Meanwhile, the rapid VW Golf of Charlie Cope goes blasting past the Fiat X19 of Alistair Bapty.
Yeah, they swapped places coming into the hairpin, and they re-swapped again. They swapped for a third time as they go into
classic cars, be careful.
Yeah, Alistair Bapty goes past the Volkswagen. Alistair Bapty never hesitant in coming forward. That is his style. Very, very full on a racetrack, and he's fighting that Golf hard. The Golf is quicker in straight line power, no question about it. But the Fiat is quicker through the corners, and that's going to make a fantastic little struggle as Alistair Bapty monsters the thing over the hot dog curve on the inside of the bottom corner.
Wow, yeah, you're not joking about the full attack driving style from Alistair Bapty in the X19. It's almost like a little mini Lancia Stratos, and its look is that sort of wedge shape, could be short wheelbase, very short wheelbase. I bet it's a handful at certain points of the circuit as well. But you're definitely right, though. That VW Golf of Charlie Cope has got some legs on the straight.
Yeah, they both. Charlie Cope seemed to be all over the Fiat on straight line speed. The difference between the two seems to have become a little bit less pronounced as the races progressed for some reason. But yeah, Charlie Cope still very much within striking distance. Now you pointed out the Nova. Is that going backwards through the field at the moment?
It is, yeah, and they just lost a place there to the number 77 Alfa Romeo Giulia of Richard Merrill, who definitely had the legs on the straight there for whatever reason. So I wonder if the little Nova is perhaps in a little bit of an ailing condition there, possibly. But long distance around here for these cars. We've got 10 laps to go at the stripe as well. Big slide sideways everywhere. This number 2 Alistair Coates, always exciting to watch in that green and beautifully prepared RS 2000, but yes, sideways everywhere.
Yeah, there was 2 cars actually that smoked the wheels off the start line. One was the pole position on Andrew Graham, which is understandable given the power of that V8 engine he's got. But the other car that kind of drowned in tyre smoke was Alistair Coates' RS 2000. That caused a little bit of a bottleneck going off the grid, but he's very much in full swing now in that number 2 car.
Well, I'll tell you who's carving back through the field is the Scimitar Coupe of Jimmy Crowe, car number 21, started 6th, and he is now back up into 9th position. So after going right to the bottom of the field, and he is charging too as well. So how far can Jimmy Crowe fight back in that Scimitar Coupe?
Yeah, Jimmy's first race meeting, I think, in that car. He was in testing yesterday. He had some kind of mechanical problem that dumped a load of oil into the braking area on the way to the hairpin and spun the car into the gravel at the hairpin. But he recovered from all that, got it restarted things, and clearly there's pace in the car. He qualified very well in 6th position, and the speed at which he's coming back through the pack is quite encouraging as well. It's just a pity he had that spin at the chicane.
Yeah, just absolutely a pity. I hope it's not the same issue. Well, clearly, whatever it is, it's not holding him back now as he blasts by the Lotus Elan of Colin Calder, car number 55. Goes past there as well. Now next up is the BMW 2002 Ti. I love the BMW 2002 Ti. It's such a cool little car with the kind of sort of pig snout nose at the front. And the car number 15, that BMW, easy meet there for Jimmy Crowe on the straight. That Scimitar's got some serious legs.
Oh yeah, that is quick, very very quick indeed. Of course, the Scimitar is made out of fiberglass, so it's quite a lightweight car. Unbelievable that it's made by the same company that made the famous Lion Robin, but there we go.
Yes, that would. It's quite impressive. Lots of personal best lap times being set out on circuit as the drivers familiarise themselves with the conditions as well. But our leader, still marching ahead, is Andrew Graham, car number 78 in that Triumph TR8. Lap time wise, the pace isn't far away. Alistair Barty is matching within a couple of tenths of a second there to our race leader. Just didn't quite get away as well as he would have liked to. I think with perhaps a better start in the next race, he might well be able to challenge Alistair Graham.
Yeah, well,
Andrew Graham, excuse me.
Yeah, Alistair Barty is pushing on. He's lapping a couple of tenths quicker than he managed in qualifying, which is a sign of how hard somebody's trying in a race.
Yes.
It's very unusual that a driver can match their qualifying pace in race conditions, but that's what Alistair's doing at the moment. However, that still leaves him with 3 tenths off in terms of best lap times compared with Andrew Graham. Andrew Graham did a 58.6 in qualifying. He's not managed to get below 59.2 in the race so far, but he's doing a good job of lapping some of the tail end traffic now. He's lapped the 66 XR2, which is good to see that on track. Duncan O'Neill in 14th place at the moment. He had problems in qualifying, the car expired on him in qualifying, but he's back out to play in the race. I'm leading the XR2 class. Fraser Turnbull with an XR2 down in 16th position.
That's what's quite nice about a car that's relatively simple. It's a bit easier to fix in the pits and paddock.
Yes, old style analog cars as opposed to the modern electronic based cars.
Some of them now you wouldn't be able to begin to get a fix. As the Scimitar making full progress through the field. Number 21 Scimitar Coupe Jimmy Crowe is up into the top 5 now, and now starting to get to a point where he's not lapping as quick as the cars in front of him, so he's perhaps hit his ceiling, but nevertheless that's been a great fight from all the way down in 17th right up to 5th.
Yeah, Jimmy always in the past has been racing Ford Escorts in this class. Now he's made his match because he's now up behind the Ford Escort, which he can't quite catch.
No, that's the car of Alistair Coates ahead of him, who just set personal best on that last lap of 1:01.2 and pulled 1.1 seconds away from the Scimitar Coupe of Jimmy Crowe. God, I could say that all day. Scimitar.
Yes.
Whoever was in the marketing department at that point, can't give them a raise now. It's too late now. But that's a great name for a car.
Interesting Scimitar connection to this as well, because Jonathan Gilbert, who runs the Edinburgh Watch Company, who sponsored the Classic Sports and Saloons with the Scottish Motor Racing Club, he used to race at Ingliston in the estate version of the Scimitar. It was it's what I would call an Avon version, the slightly longer loading bay at the back, so instead of the
shooting brake would it be?
Yeah, sports brake, that's the word they often use. So he had one of those in a kind of mustardy yellow colour and raced that at Ingliston years and years ago. So yes, Jonathan's always been a great racing fan and helping with sponsorship of the series here. Now there's a marshal on is that a dark blue flag or is that a black flag he's got in his hand on the starting gantry? I think it might be the dark
blue.
Yes,
dark blue. I did see a black and orange one shown during practice this morning, which was of course saying that you need to come in and fix a mechanical issue. Mechanical warning flag is a little bit of a mistake there from the Scimitar. I think there's more problems.
That's becoming an interesting battle because that's Jimmy Crowe ahead of Richard Merrill's Alfa Romeo and the number 11 Ian Mitchell Nova right in tow as well. Those three now circulating very close together, so I think there's a bit of a fight developing there, and the BMW 2002 Ti is not that far behind, so this could develop into the fight of the race here.
It could. So you've got a Scimitar Coupe, you've got an Alfa Giulia and a Vauxhall Nova. Only in classics would you get that level of variety. His fastest lap of the race just goes in there from Andrew Graham, really getting into his stride now, a 58.991 and pulled 1.7 seconds out of Alistair Bapty that time by. He's got a commanding lead of 8.5 seconds with about 2.5 laps to go.
Yeah, so the battle with Jimmy Crowe is for 5th, 6th, 7th. They're now heading along his lops towards the hairpin. So Jimmy Crowe in the red number 21 car is about to be passed by Richard Merrill's Alfa Romeo into the hairpin. A nice overtake by Richard Merrill, very clean and tidy. And he goes up now into the top 5 of the race in the number 77 Alfa. But Jimmy Crowe coming back on straight line speed and retakes the position before they get to the start finish line. So Richard Merrill is going to have to think again, and looks like the Alpha's quicker on the corners and Jimmy Crowe's quicker on the straights.
Yeah, it looked like on that last lap when Jimmy Crowe looked like he was having an issue. I think he maybe missed a gear coming out the hairpin because he was delayed coming out the hairpin, and then now back into his stride. But that Alfa Giulia has just got beautiful body language to it as well. It's a lovely car. You actually now there's a company called Alphaholics which modify these cars for the road and bring them up to modern standard with modern materials, and there's a long waiting list for commissions from Alphaholics. Dario Franchitti has one actually.
Yes, that's right. I've seen that in his expanding collection of cars,
including a Gordon Murray Automotive T50.
Yes, his company car. Yes.
That's a 7-figure bill, that one. Now Johnny Crowe is falling back again, so the Alpha's got by. The Alpha number 77 of Richard Merrill has moved up ahead of the 21 Scimitar Coupe of Jimmy Crowe.
I wonder if he's got a gearbox problem.
Something not right anyway.
When you look at it on the straights, or the second half of the straights, round the twisty bits round there, it doesn't seem to be losing an awful lot to the other cars.
Flipping clutch.
But yes, it's the approach to the hairpin, the run through the hairpin, he's just nowhere. So very, very strange, but he's staying ahead of the Vauxhall Nova at the moment. They've got an XR2 to lap just now as they come into Clark Corner, and already Richard Merrill has passed that one. The XR2 staying well out the way and letting everybody through. So now let's see what happens. Jimmy Crowe then up on full speed. Everything seems to be working as normal, heading towards the hairpin. He's catching Richard Merrill's Alfa Romeo. They brake for the hairpin, and the Alfa Romeo goes through, and Jimmy Crowe follows through as well. I can't understand why he's had so much trouble in the previous laps, but we've got one lap to go, and in fact the checkered flag remain ready for. Here's the leader now, in fact, lapping the midfield. Leader 78, Andrew Graham, takes the checkered flag. Alistair Bapty then will come through in second place. He's just exited the hairpin now in the Fiat X19. So 78, Andrew Graham is the winner in the Triumph Tier 8. Second is Alistair Bapty in his Fiat X19 number 13. And then Charlie Coates Volkswagen Golf is due to cross the line next. He's just coming through the hairpin now, and we'll see the Volkswagen Golf GTI take the checkered flag in third place for number 4.
Great podium.
Crosses the line now. Yeah, what a mixture.
For a little Mark 1 Golf GTI, it's checkered yet, Mark 1. But of course we've still got the battle raging on between the Scimitar of Jimmy Crowe and the number 77 Alpha of Richard Merrill as they come into the braking zone for the hairpin, trying to make their way through, as Merrill's going to try and take the wide entry in and then cut back and get back on the power, and it's going to be a drag race now towards the checkered flag, and then the drag race, that Scimitar's just got the leg. So good battle there between the Scimitar and the Alfa Romeo Giulia.
Yes, Alistair Coates had finished ahead of them in 4th place in the Escort RS 2000. Then Jimmy Crowe crosses the line in the Scimitar in 5th place, number 21, and number 77, the Alfa Romeo of Richard Merrill, finishes in 6th. I'm not sure, we lost somewhere along the way. Oh no, we didn't. He's still there, Mario Ferrari. For some reason I just didn't see him during the race, but he has come in finishing in 10th position, just behind Colin Calder in the number 55 car.
Great race there, and we'll have Kenny.
If you have an engineering problem, Gilmore Engineering has a solution. If you need expert fabrication and welding, Gilmore Engineering are the experts you can trust, whatever industry you're in and whatever your requirements. Gilmore Engineering is the company you need. Gilmore Engineering specialise in CNC machining, welding and general fabrication, providing a bespoke manufacturing service from product idea to final delivery. If you can think of it, we can make it. Gilmore Engineering. Visit at gilmoreengineering.co.uk.